Peace to all the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation, and so it is. Today's video is about 6 coping skills to work through grief, babies. You ready? I'm ready. Well, let's get into it. Feeling overwhelmingly sad may be a natural reaction to loss, but what do you do when the emotion stops you in your tracks? Loss is a unique experience. Not everyone goes through mourning and grief in the same way, and there is no such thing as grieving correctly. In fact, grief can take many different forms, from feelings of numbness to unstoppable tears. Some people go through 5 stages of loss, but other people have different experiences. Every reaction is unique and violent. There's no deadline for grieving. How long it takes you to process a loss depends on many factors. One of them could be the resources you have at hand. For example, your coping skills. So it is. What is grief? Grief usually refers to deep emotional sorrow results from a loss. However, it's not always the loss of a loved one. Losing a home or a job, experiencing natural disaster, or even witnessing someone you love go through a difficult time may cause you to grieve. For some people, the end of a romantic relationship may also lead to grieving. So it is, babies. Despite what some people may believe, grief and depression are not the same. Depression is a formal mental health diagnosis with specific and unidentifiable criteria or symptoms. In some cases, an unresolved grieving process can lead to symptoms of depression, but this is not always the case and depends on many factors. Both grief and depression can involve feelings of sadness and hopelessness. But with grief, these are typically connected to a specific event or loss. Symptoms of depression may also last longer and often require the support of a mental health professional to manage them, which is not usually the case with grieving, okay? What are coping skills? Oh, babies, let's get into it. Coping skills are those thoughts and actions you use to respond to events that may cause you distress. You have probably learned this along the way and from influence and experience. These skills are conscious strategies you put in place to manage emotions such as anger, anxiety, fear, or sadness. They don't necessarily resolve the situation. However, you may find they help you manage how you feel. For example, after a fight with your partner, you could practice meditation for 10 minutes or have a glass of wine. Coping skills can be simple tactics you use in the moment as you feel your emotions rise. They can also be long-term strategies you focus on when you're going through extended, difficult periods, like when you're grieving. However, not all coping skills help you relieve distress. Some may actually delay the process, and some of them may put you or someone else's safety in jeopardy. Avoided versus active coping skills. When you experience grief, you may find yourself working with an active or avoided coping skills. It may depend on the situations or on how you're used to managing distressing events. Active coping means you try to directly address the source of your emotional pain with thoughts or actions that change the event itself or the way you look at it. Avoiding coping skills are more about using strategies that take your mind or heart off the event. For example, an active coping skill may be asking someone to help you solve a problem, while an avoiding coping skill could be alcohol use. Ashe. Coping skills when grieving. The goal of coping skills is often to reduce or endure the negative emotions and thoughts that may come with grief or about actively solving problems. Positive reframing, also known as looking at the bright side. Positive reframing may feel challenging at first, particularly when grieving. Reframing can be cognitive, focused on your thoughts, or emotional, focused on how you feel. It's natural to feel there are no positives in your loss, but with positive reframing, you're not disregarding the importance of your loss. You're focusing on appreciating those aspects that may still connect you with the person or event you lost. For example, you may focus on good memories and lessons learned, or you could work on a tribute. These actions may reframe your grieving emotions and bring you temporary relief. Humor. Laughter during a time of loss may feel impossible, but that doesn't mean there aren't moments here and there where you can find humor. It may depend on your situation, and it doesn't have to always work. However, actively pursuing humor can help you cope with grief. You could focus on funny memories with your loved one. For example, you could also watch your favorite comedy or check funny pictures from the past. Feel me? The goal is not to dismiss or disregard the importance of your loss. It's to help you hold on to more positive emotions, even if temporary. That may bring you some relief to cope. Spirituality. Feeling connected to a higher purpose or having a sense of an afterlife can be comforting. If you've lost someone close to you, believing in a pain-free existence after death may ease the burden of grief. Ashe. And so it is. If that's not your case, you can connect with whatever resonates more with you, from closure rituals to prayer. Acceptance. Acceptance is not about being okay with your loss. It's natural if you feel you'll never be. Instead, it's more about focusing on what comes next and how you learn to live with the loss. Focusing on readjusting to your new reality may be positive emotions, may bring on positive emotions, such as hope and gratitude. Okay? Perspective focusing. Perhaps you've heard some people say it's important to gain perspective. This usually means looking at a wider picture, contemplating more than the immediate aspects of a situation. Perspective is relative and subjective. It may be about perception too. To cope with grief, try focusing on aspects that go beyond the loss. For example, what you learned from the loss itself or from the person or event you lost. So it is. Problem solving. Not all grief is related to irreversible loss, such as the death of a loved one. In some cases, you may be able to take control of your situation and solve problems to improve your outcome. If you ended a long-term relationship, now may be the time for self-introspection. You can also focus on specific tasks, such as moving to a new place, reorganizing your drawers, or separating joint accounts. Okay? Difference between coping skills and self-care. Positive coping skills can feel like self-care. However, they are different. Both are important when you're grieving, though. In a sense, self-care is a coping skill. It helps you manage your emotions and get proactive about your distress. Self-care can include new things, exercising, practicing relations techniques, journaling, asking for support, going to the doctor for a checkup, reconnecting with family and friends, starting a new hobby, pursuing your academic or professional goals. Difference between coping skills and defense mechanisms. Okay, coping skills aren't the same as defense mechanisms either. Defense mechanisms are primarily subconscious reactions to protect your psychological well-being during extreme stress. Coping skills are more deliberate. They aim to solve and overcome situations or reduce distress. Okay? You can often choose which coping strategy works best for a stressful event. However, you're often not aware of your subconscious defense mechanisms. For instance, reaction formation is a common defense mechanism during distressing times. It involves behaving in an opposite way to how they feel. In this case, you could behave optimistically despite feeling sad after a breakup. This is your mind protecting you from pain, the pain. Feel me? A coping skill will be going out with friends or family and asking for their support because you accept your feeling down. How to put your coping skills to action. Developing coping skills can take time. If you're dealing with grief right now, you can put your coping skills to work by activating, seeking, and accepting support from others. Acknowledging you are in the grieving process. Focusing on solving immediate problems. Expressing your feelings out loud or in a journal. Learning to recognize emotional triggers. Getting involved in activities you usually enjoy. Being kind and patient to yourself about your process. Getting plenty of rest. Setting goals even if they're small and immediate. When to seek professional help. If you feel you're having a particularly difficult time grieving, know that this is natural and common. If it's getting in the way of you completing important tasks or taking care of yourself and others, you may want to consider reaching out for help. On some occasions, unresolved grief may lead to complicated grief or depression. Discussing how you feel with a trained professional could help you begin your path to healing. And so it is. Well, babies, that concludes the first part of my video of 6 coping skills to work through grief. I love you, babies. Peace. The word of the week is compassion. Compassion is deep empathy for another who is suffering or living with misfortune. It is understanding and caring and a strong desire to ease their distress. Compassion flows freely from our hearts when we let go of judgment and seek to understand. Our compassionate presence helps people to know they are not alone. Sometimes they don't need to fix anything. They only need to be heard with compassion, babies, so that they can connect to their own inner wisdom. We need our own compassion as much as others do. Whether a silent prayer or a gentle touch, compassion is a priceless gift, and so it is. Remember this, babies. I notice when someone is hurt or needs a friend. I feel empathy for the pain of others. I take time to reach out to those who need help. I care for others by listening deeply. I refrain from judging. I have compassion for myself. I am thankful for the gift of compassion. It stirs my heart, and so it is. I love you, babies. Peace. Peace to all the gods and goddesses of planet Cat. Peace, meaning positive energy always creates elevation, and so it is. This is the second part of my video where I give you the 6 wisdom tokens and the 9 powerful affirmations. You babies ready? I'm ready. Well, let's get into it. Alright. I'm going to start off with the 6 wisdom tokens. Let's go. As you become filled with light, your power to affect the world around you increases, and so it is. As you become filled with light, your power to affect the world around you increases, and so it is. As you become filled with light, your power to affect the world around you increases, and so it is. I see. Next. I let go of unwanted feelings and smile, and so it is. I let go of unwanted feelings and smile, and so it is. I let go of unwanted feelings and smile, and so it is. I see. Next. Today is a new day, and tomorrow will be a better one, and so it is. Today is a new day, and tomorrow will be a better one, and so it is. Today is a new day, and tomorrow will be a better one, and so it is. I see. Next. I am worthy of authentic, wholehearted, unconditional love, and so it is. I am worthy of authentic, wholehearted, unconditional love, and so it is. I am worthy of authentic, wholehearted, unconditional love, and so it is. I see. Next. I am willing to release my fears, and so it is. I am willing to release my fears, and so it is. I am willing to release my fears, and so it is. I see. Next. Whatever you give others is also a gift to yourself, babies. Whatever you give others is also a gift to yourself, babies. Whatever you give others is also a gift to yourself. And so it is. I see. Well, babies, that ends the wisdom tokens. Now we're going to step right on into the 9 powerful affirmations. You babies ready? Okay, let's get into it. I set healthy boundaries, and so it is. I set healthy boundaries, and so it is. I set healthy boundaries, and so it is. I see. Next. I am ready for everything, and so it is. I am ready for everything, and so it is. I am ready for everything, and so it is. I see. Next. I am energetic and fearless, and so it is. I am energetic and fearless, and so it is. I am energetic and fearless, and so it is. I see. Next. I am drunk with confidence, and so it is. I am drunk with confidence, and so it is. I am drunk with confidence, and so it is. I see. Next. I am a star messenger, and so it is. I am a star messenger, and so it is. I am a star messenger, and so it is. I see. Next. I am enjoying my rebirth, and so it is. I am enjoying my rebirth, and so it is. I am enjoying my rebirth, and so it is. I see. Next. I am letting the change in, so it is. I am letting the change in, and so it is. I am letting the change in, and so it is. I see. Next. I am ready for this powerful energy shift, and so it is. I am ready for this powerful energy shift, and so it is. I am ready for this positive, powerful energy shift, and so it is. I see. Next. My pain activated my gifts, and so it is. My pain activated my gifts, and so it is. My pain activated my gifts, and so it is. I see. Yeah, baby. Seems like you're stepping right on there to the most. I got about 12 of them for you. Don't you say shit. Why? Because I do what I want to do, and so it is. I see, and so it is. I balance my physical life with my spiritual path, and so it is. I balance my physical life with my spiritual path, and so it is. I balance my physical life with my spiritual path, and so it is. I see. Next. Love beats all lower vibrations, and so it is. Love beats all lower vibrations, and so it is. Love beats all lower vibrations, and so it is. I see. Next. Sex means sacred energy exchange, and so it is. Sex means sacred energy exchange, and so it is. Sex means sacred energy exchange, and so it is. I see. Next. You have to be the change that you want to see, and so it is. You have to be the change that you want to see, and so it is. You have to be the change that you want to see, and so it is. I see. Next. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change, and so it is. Your life don't get better by chance. It gets better by change, and so it is. Your life don't get better by chance. It get better by change, and so it is. I say, so it is. Next. Expectations is the ruler of all hearts, and so it is. Expectations is the ruler of all heartbreak, and so it is. Expectations is the ruler of all heartbreak, and so it is. I see. Next. We are in the era of creation, recognition, and transformation, and so it is. We are in an era of creation, recognition, and transformation, and so it is. We are in an era of creation, recognition, and transformation, and so it is. I say, and so it is. Bye, and go. Next. I have an animating spark, and so it is. I have an animating spark, and so it is. I have an animating spark, and so it is. I see. Next. Tap into the God power that's already in you, and so it is. Tap into the God power that's already in you, and so it is. Tap into the God power that's already in you, and so it is. I say. Next. My blessings are here, and so it is. My blessings are here, and so it is. My blessings are here, and so it is. I say. Next. Create and make me feel great, and so it is. Create and make me feel great, and so it is. Creating makes me feel great, and so it is. I say. Next. I am connected to the universal cord, and so it is. I am connected to the universal cord, and so it is. I am connected to the universal cord, and so it is. I am connected to the universal cord, and so it is. Well, babies, that concludes my video. Now, I would like to leave some rich puppies. Hold on one second. I am releasing onto you this proton energy on feel good. My desire is to share with you what I know and leave you with my love and authentic creativity. And so it is. I'm going to give you 3 things, babies, to help you as you move forward. And so it is. 1, the life in front of you is more important than the life behind you, babies. And so it is. 2, ask yourself, is what you're doing okay? Is getting you home to where you want to be tomorrow. And so it is. 3, don't be a prisoner of your past. It was only a lesson, baby. Not a life sentence, and so it is. I say. Well, babies, I love you. Before you ride out, make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe so I can give you more of this authentic energy that I'm feeling. I love you, ladies. Peace. Tazzgdagreat in the building. What's up, Ice?
Buddha.
You ready to get our people right? It's the age of Aquarius. The veil will be lifted. Any and everything vibrating low will be eradicated, eliminated for those who don't know what that means. You ready to do it? Let's do it right. Alright?
I got my sun in the moon, energy filling the room. My frequency is in tune, spelling it out just for you. Waking you up, ain't no hitting the snooze. Feed you the real with a fork and a spoon. Ooh, disillusion can't lead you to lose. I'm on the stage like I'm filling the pews. This is the option that's for you to choose. You cannot fly like a mile in my shoes. I do not do this shit just for the views. Say in the chorus a mantra to use. Many are called but the chosen a few. Calling the chosen to harvest the truth. So many lies they're telling to you. Better decipher cause they giving clues. Right in our face where they hiding the truth.
Let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Get them together. Get them together. Get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Get them together. Get them together. Get them together. All my people out here need to know what's going on. These elites really out here fucking over us. Putting GMOs all off in our slacks and folds. Us and the gods and goddesses ain't even got a clue. We got sex traffickers, energy harvesters, pedophiles in this pitch. We got spellcasters, slave masters, murderers in this pitch. Coronavirus, vaccinations, county jail, prison cells, monkeypox, crooked cops, hella distractions, fuck 'em. Let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Get them together. Get them together. Get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Let's get them together. Hey, let's get them together. Get them together.